Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Did you know you could shop around for prescription prices? With GoodRx, you can find free coupons at over 70,000 pharmacies and save up to 80%. It's that easy. But don't just take my word for it. Dr. Adam says, I've been telling all my patients about GoodRx. Jacqueline says, my medication was $65 without insurance, but I paid $25. Aubriana says, you don't have to pay full price to live your best life. Couldn't have said it better myself. GoodRx is 100% free. Download the GoodRx app today and start saving. GoodRx is not insurance.
All right. Say something right quick so I can make sure the mic is good.
Hello.
Yeah, that's good right there. Cool. Me and my homeboy was doing one, man, and we did like almost an hour and a half, and man, you couldn't hear nothing.
That's hard.
Oh, it was hard. It was hard because I can podcast off the phone. And for some reason, when I'm on a laptop and I had to do like the call in, and it would not, it was jacked up on my end. It was my bad. So I said, you know what? Next time I'm gonna just podcast on my phone and have people call in, and it actually sounded pretty good. Yeah. So, all right.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah. All right. So
how the podcast? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I said, now how does this work? It's not live though. Like it's pre-recorded and then you like edit it and put it out.
I could go live. It don't make a difference. I just do like the pre-recorded, then I edit it, then I submit it, and then it goes out to like the little streaming platforms, and I start like promoting it and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, you are tuned into the Cigars with Mac podcast, and I have a special guest, a young lady who is a black entrepreneur, and today we want to talk about the future of black business. Her name is Melissa. Anyway, known her for a couple years. She's very successful. And I really want to, we really want to just chop it up about black business, man. Because right now, I think, I don't want to say black business is completely suffering for the COVID because, you and I both live out here in DFW, man. And it's a lot of black businesses out here, if you haven't noticed it by now.
Right.
And a lot of them are actually still successful. So, we're going to just chop it up, and I want Melissa to kind of, talk about her business and, tell a little bit about herself, and we'll go from there and just chop it up.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is Melissa, and I have a business called She's So Full Kids Spa. I started about 8 years ago doing spa parties for little girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I started about 8 years ago doing spa parties for little girls. And over time, I've evolved into party planning also. I work with kids within cheer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just kept evolving with the times. Like you said, a lot of people are hurting right now because of the pandemic. One of my favorite restaurants that was black owned here in Dallas shut down because of the pandemic.
Oh,
and
man.
Me being in the cheer industry, I've watched a number of businesses that were thriving before this happened, saying they're closing their doors going forward. So, it's been a painful thing to watch. And it just shows you how you have to have, like they said, 7 streams of income.
Exactly.
You know, even if you're doing, you know, one thing, you have to be able to have profit from it multiple ways. So, so like I said, I have my kids spot, and so my base is kids. So I have my birthday parties, and for my birthday parties, I started doing cheer because I was already working with kids. And then when the pandemic happened, evolved again to start offering more things online, so that, you know, even if, you know, in event that they shut everything down again,
mm-hmm.
I would still have a market. You know, you have to just be versatile to be able to go with the time.
Yeah. I like that. I think, especially, something you made a good point about was having several streams of income. And I think that's where we as black people get fucked up at, is that we rely solely on one thing. You know, we put all our energy into one thing, and then when shit like this happen, we kind of like assed out, you know. And
right.
I just, man, you hit some good points on that, man. Like I said, but I like your business model, and I know, you know, you are from Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, Ouachita Parish. And would you say your business grew from, was it really an evolve from, like, I remember we was talking about you coming out here, but I didn't know you actually came out here. So I'm like, damn, I'm glad you out here, man. I'm like, damn, finally people like, because I was born in Monroe. So, but we left when I was 5 years old. And then I moved back when I was 14. Then I left again when I was 17, just because I love Monroe. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know. I don't want to sound, you know, crass, but it's like, man, it's not a lot of opportunity there, you know. And I'm not trying to. Like I said,
for me,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Okay, for me, I left Monroe because, just like we said, I felt like there weren't the opportunities there. I felt like my business wasn't going to grow to its full potential there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, looking back on it, I've almost been here in Dallas for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it just comes down to the fact that it's more about the person than it is about the city.
Okay.
Like, there are businesses in Monroe that are charging $800 to $1,500 for birthday parties, and they're booked up for 6 months. So, I have a friend that I mentor that's, in Jackson, and she's like, but there's no money here. I was like, the money's wherever you are. And now being here in Dallas, and most of my customers, most of my parties are still from Monroe because that's my base.
Yeah.
I see it now. It's easier, but I'm just more familiar with it. Let me say it that way.
Yeah.
I was because I had, I've been doing Monroe so long, been in Monroe so long. My business model is for Monroe. I know how to market there. I know these people, that person. I know when this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So it's like when you come to a new area, it's almost like starting all over again. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I should have a better game plan. I don't know what it is. I always, just take it and thrive and just try to strive and keep trying to go. But what I've learned by moving to Dallas is, just because it's bigger doesn't make it better. I had the same opportunities in Monroe that I do here in Dallas. And it's about, you got to get out. People have to know who you are. You have to network. And those were all the things I was doing in Monroe. And I feel like I was very, looking back now, I was very successful at it. You just always think the grass is greener on the other side. So, like, moving from Monroe to Dallas for a social, point of view, maybe it's more for a business standpoint. People are going to spend money if they want to, especially with birthday parties. Like I said, people have paid the shipping for me to do their ship bags and everything and send it back home. So, I mean, people are going to pay for it if they want it. You just have to get out there. You have to keep going and don't make excuses and tell yourself, oh, there's no money here. It's all about your mindset and what you're willing to do, no matter where you are, no matter how big it is, or how small. Somebody made it there, so you can too. But if you get it in your mind that it's too small and you need something new, it's a wake-up call to come here because I still do so much in Monroe, but I was there for 6 years, so it makes sense. But I still get way more business from Monroe than I even do from here yet. But that's because I don't have the base here yet. I haven't. And then when I came out here, because I kind of just moved to Dallas, I had to get a job. Okay. And so when you get a job, it's just a distraction, because you can't put the time into your business that you need to when you get home. I have a small child after that, and so it's so easy to just start going with the groove of things, you're working, you're being a parent, you're helping with homework, and then your business is like your stepchild, where when I was in Monroe, it was my priority,
It's your priority.
And of course my child was too, but I woke up, went to my shop, took care of business, that, had cheer practice on this day, so it's like I had a routine. And here, it's like I'm working. So it's just a change. And so that's the biggest thing I learned is I can make it work wherever. You just can't get in your way of telling yourself oh, it's not here, it's somewhere else. It's moving here for a simple personal reason. I feel that's great. But, you got to make it, in the small towns before you come out here, because it's groundwork. And, when you put in that groundwork, no matter where you are, you're going to excel. So,
you know what? I keep people. I never heard it quite put like that before, because if you think about it, Dallas is big. Dallas-Fort Worth, the Metroplex is big. So, like you said, and the thing about Dallas, you probably noticed everything is so spread out. Really, Texas, period. So, from what you're saying, is basically you had a nice network back home, and now you got to basically build that network up again out here. But what was still good that you didn't completely close shop.
Yeah,
that was actually a smart idea. And
I wanted to keep my shop, but it's just so hard to trust.
That's right.
You're invested in it. You don't want to mess up your name, so it's hard to trust somebody else to run. Eventually, you just have to let go. But, at the time, I wasn't ready to trust somebody to run, what I had built there. I didn't want to tarnish my name because somebody was being late or not doing this or not doing that. And I'm 4 hours away and I can't come if they mess up.
What's cool is for you is that you started your business from the ground. I mean, my first business, I was a franchise owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a janitorial franchise owner. So, and the thing about it, I was it was already an established brand, but you literally started a business from scratch, which is cool, man. That's actually, that takes a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, with the franchise model, you still have to sell it, but when you start talking about from scratch, that's a whole other monster, and especially in the niche market that you have, man. So I'm glad that that you still thriving, man. And like I said, this really ties back into what our topic was tonight, which is, the state of black business, man. I mean, do you feel that as a black business owner, as a black entrepreneur, that you get that on your, I know your end, it's like you still have loyal customers, but do you feel that blacks support black businesses?
I think that, blacks support black businesses because it's natural for them to do it. So they support each other. So we're going to get that out of the way. Black people, I had black people when I first opened and volunteered to work at my shop for free just because they said they just wanted to see me be successful. I had people come and get flyers and pass them out for me that I didn't know. People come in and just pray. I had customers, I had, like you said, a very niche business. It was not a necessity, but I had customers that came every month just because they wanted me to stay open. They was like, oh, we got to make sure we come back next month, da, da, da. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say black people don't support black people. Now, this is the problem, okay? Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, the way black businesses get the bad name of, oh, this is why I don't support black businesses, this is why I don't do business with black people, da, 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 is because of what we consider a business. Now, anybody can just start tomorrow and say, I'm doing shirts or, whatever you're doing. You can just start tomorrow and do that. And then, they consider them a business. I'm not trying to knock them and say they're not a business, but when you go to the Hustle Man and you get the discounted at the beginning of their services, you're not going to get the same service that you can go and pay $200 for if this person charges $50. But yet, when you get the halfway service for the halfway money you got, when you go on Facebook and you go, this is horrible, you know, this is why I don't support black businesses. You know, it's at the beginning. I remember, because I had a birthday party business, there's a lady that did cakes. Mm-hmm. Now, at the beginning, her cakes weren't that great. But she did funded cakes for $25. What exactly do you expect for $25?
That's right.
So what I would do is I would buy her cakes and then I would make the toppers for them. So I would actually do real simple stuff and make her toppers for her. And that way I could support her because I knew she couldn't do that good of a job, okay? So I still was able to support her within her comfort zone. And she's grown since then. But we don't give people a chance to grow. We try to bash them in the beginning. We're very hard on each other. We want 100% the first time. I just know as a business owner, like, I used to be afraid to make mistakes because I knew if I made a mistake, like, one time I made a mistake and overbooked, you know, which was my fault all the way. I take responsibility. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'd be like, oh my God, say, this is why I don't support black businesses. And it's not because I was black that I made that mistake. It was just that I was a new business owner. I took on too much at one time. And honestly, I just wasn't looking at my calendar enough, you know. Mm-hmm. It was a mistake I made. I tried to rectify it as best as I could, but I didn't make that mistake because I was black. I just think that, you know, we go into the situation and we look at things to say, see, she's black. That's why I'm working. When the truth is, most of us are first generation business owners. We don't have a person we can pick up the phone. What you do here? How do you do this? We just learn, but then we're bad to learn through the mistakes, you know. So I'm not gonna say black people don't support each other because I've had nothing but support. I've had nothing but black people show up and be nice to me and get what they can afford. Mm-hmm. I haven't had a lot of people try to negotiate with me as far as prices and stuff goes, but you know, because I had a website, and you know, that's just it. The prices are just the prices, you know. So I haven't had that experience, but I mean, I take everybody's money, so black, white.
Yeah. Well, I know what you're saying, but here's my thing. When I say black business, and I'm pretty sure you probably understand where I'm coming from, meaning just black owned, like yourself.
Right.
So I think here's my you know, I'm kind of like on the edge of both. Because there are black businesses I do support. And my thing is, I try to be when it comes to my people, I'm a little bit more lenient. Because like you said, I understand that most of us, the good majority of us, we're first generation. So we're still learning.
Right.
And you got to give a brother or sister a chance. You have to, you know, and I think what really fucks us up as a people, and me and my boy was talking about this, is that everybody, you know, come to the country and they establish a community base, and right. and they spend bread with each other, and they do it regardless. They don't have to like each other, but they're like, before I give this race of people my money, I'm gonna give it to my people first, and I got right. to respect that, you know. And I think with black businesses, something that I've ran into is that I think a lot of times we get a little too comfortable. And I think the reason why is because that's just how black people are. We just built like that. That's just how we, you know, I mean, even in the workplace, you know, like me, the majority of my tenure as far as being an adult has been spent in the military, got out, started a business, you know. But at the time, my temperament was not. I love the customers, but with being a franchise owner, you still kind of like. I felt like an employee. If that makes sense to you. So, yeah. And I was like, "Yo, I'm paying y'all to use y'all brand, and y'all think y'all gonna tell me what to do? Nah, it ain't finna work like that." So I would always get into it with them, and one day I said, "You know what? Let me learn this corporate game, and then I'll come back out here and start a business. I can always start another business." So But what I've noticed is, like you said, with our people is, we don't give each other a chance. And I feel like sometimes we are hard on each other. And to me, I don't think that's right. Because at the end of the day, like some I don't do is a lot of times people that leave bad reviews. I don't do that because I'm like, you know what? They growing. They're gonna figure it out, And I'm all about at the end of the day support my people, And my thing is, I don't, this podcast is gonna be public, and in the day, when it comes to black folks, I hate the fact that sometimes we gotta tone it down so we don't offend people, but fuck that. Because I don't know if you remember those brothers that graduated from Morehouse and the billionaire Robert Smith. I've been following this guy for a long time, and he basically paid off their student loan, and man, that's just really like, a lot of people was like, well, why did he do that? Why he did it? And I was like, man, these brothers, he gave these guys an opportunity to start fresh, and I respected that so much because he's at the top of the food chain. He's one of the most wealthiest guys in this country. And even he is like, yo, I got to be there for my people. Yeah, I got this big corporate. I mean, he owns a multitude of companies, things like that. But he understood, you got to be there for your people. Point blank, period. Because when it's all said and done, like me personally, I remember I started a small investment company. And it was black people that had my back. Period. But the only thing that stopped it was there were people in the organization that were trying to sabotage me for whatever reason. I don't know why. And I ended up dissolving it because when I explained to people, longevity and that things take time. It doesn't happen. Nothing happens overnight, And I think about it, and like you said, when I told people that, they was like, "Oh, hell no." But the beautiful thing is, in my contract, I put in there that non-refundable. But you know what I did? I gave everybody their money back because I'm like you. I don't want my name fucked up out here.
Right.
And think about Dallas. Dallas big as hell. So you can see people one time. And you won't see them for another 10 to 15 years. But I'm like you, like, yo, my name is important to me. It's very important to me. So I look at it as, you know what? They wasn't ready. Or, like I said, they wasn't ready. It just at the end of the day, I think at that time, the niche of the people I was dealing with, they weren't ready. But for that reason, it still didn't stop me from supporting other black businesses, My whole thing was like you. I was like, hey, I don't give a damn who want to invest. I'll be honest with you. I said, to me, black business means that it's owned by a black person. Because at the end of the day, we live in a world where we're going to have to, it's a melting pot, But that's pretty much my take on that right there. Like I said, I really like the way you put that because if you can't manage, like you said before, in Monroe, a smaller town, there's no way in God's green earth you're going to come to a mega city like out here in Dallas and think you finna just clean up. Because the thing about it, the competition is stiff. But believe it or not, what you do is actually big out here. It's very big. I mean, it's huge. And I know my son, his coach, he wants to do a podcast. He wants to come on here too. And he's a black man. And this guy is pumping out. I mean, he's a track coach, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Melissa. This dude is pumping out. If this dude is pumping out kids who are getting scholarships at D1 schools, straight up on track scholarships, and I can't. That's what I'm saying. That's why he said, "Man, I got to come on your show." I said, "Dude, let me know. We got to set this up because." He saw a niche out here and he was like, and he understood a lot of time our people just don't know, we don't a lot of stuff we just don't know. you know, and I think, and I was speaking of on a previous podcast about generations. I think our generation is basically the first, pretty much, who becoming successful, who also is creating wealth. You know, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, a lot of us started from scratch. I know me, I started from scratch. You know, I've made some financial mistakes, man, and any little knowledge that I can have, I'm gonna pass it on. So, as far as black businesses, what do you think on as far as your opinion? Like I said, I know this is not, you know, I'm not trying to make this like interviewee, but just what's your take on what we can do to improve? And as far as after this COVID thing, what do you think is going to take for black businesses to strive? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, after this right here, people finna start doing a lot of entrepreneur. I mean, I was on LinkedIn. This HR guy was like, after this shit happened, he started creating side hustles because he's like, you know what? I'll be damned if I allow a company to hold my life in their hands and I'm out here screwed. So
I think I've always felt like, you know, even before COVID happened, that like one of the biggest issues that we have is that, you know, unity. So example would be like I have a cheer team or whatever, and there's a million cheer teams out here, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it would be lovely if a couple of us could merge together and just have one big cheer team, you know, instead of having 5 in DeSoto, 4 in Duncanville, you know. And, you know, it'd be great if we could just merge. If we could figure out a way to work together, because, like, a cheer gym, I'm just going to do it in the sense of cheer gym. A cheer gym, if you want to have a gym, it's going to cost, well, I don't know how much it is out here in Texas, because I haven't looked. But when I was in Monroe, if I wanted a big cheer gym, it would be about $6,000, $7,000 a month for a building. Okay, you have insurance. You got to pay coaches. You have to do all. You know, you have so many expenses when you're running the gym. So if you could, you know, merge with some people who already have girls, and then you already have girls, and y'all work together, and you're on the same page, you're cutting your expenses in half. But yet you can still, you know, you combining talent. So instead of having a 10-girl team, now you have, you know, you go to compete, you have a 25-girl team. Instead of paying $6,000 rent, you know, y'all paying $2,000 a piece or whatever it is that you figure out. But the problem is everybody on different pages. Everybody can't work together, and so we could just duplicate the process and then get another person to cheer gym, you know? Like, I made mistakes. Like you said, I made mistakes myself. Like, when I first moved out here, I'm not even going to say naively. It's just, you know, you get tunnel vision. Like, I just do what I wanted. So when I came out here, I put on the Black Business Group, and I said, I'm looking for somebody to partner with, you know, to start, because I want to start a cheer gym. So a girl contacts me, and, you know, I didn't know her, and we just partnered. And, you know, I'm not going to say anything negative because you never know who might be listening to what. Just to say it didn't work out, okay? A lot of things unveiled itself, and, you know, we weren't, like, we never got into it or anything like that, but, like, we weren't on the same page financially, and, like, our business goals were different. We just wanted to, you know, we both wanted to be successful. We had such different ways of getting there. But if that could have worked, you know, it could have been great, because then we could have kept, you know, in my mind, adding on other, like, you know, taking over other smaller teams to make one big team instead of having 5 teams in South Dallas. Like, it makes no sense, you know, to have to split those type of costs. Or even like beauticians and barbers, like if they could get like a huge salon and like all work together instead of y'all trying to keep y'all shop open and y'all trying to keep y'all barely keeping y'all shop open over there. If y'all could just work together and get one big, you know, shop and make many suites, you know, because you're going to have competition regardless. Like, y'all might as well do that together. Your people going to come to you regardless. Why not split some of that, you know, that cost? So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, we're going to have to work together. We're going to have to, you know, I support you, you support me. I recommend you, you recommend me. You know, let's see how we can figure a way that we can go in together to get these buildings, because, you know, that's how we went out of business during the COVID because if you're doing everything by yourself and you're depending on each month to make this revenue, which makes sense because it's a business. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying you depend on each month to make your revenue, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and they say, well, you have to shut down, and now I can't bring anybody in. I don't have any revenue because I don't have an online stream or a second stream of income, and then I'm doing it all myself. That's hard. That's another reason I think that black businesses get such bad names, is because a lot of it's a one-man show. You're doing your marketing, you're doing your sales, you're the only person doing everything. It's going to be a shortcoming somewhere. Something's going to happen that's not going to be right. You're going to mess up a lot because you're doing everything yourself. So, like I said,
I'm gonna tell you why
figure out a way to work together.
I'm gonna tell you why you right about that, because I started this podcast over like a month ago, right? And I had a cigar buddy of mine, he was trying to tell me, because right now I'm smoking a cigar, and he was like, yeah, you should do this and talk about the cigar more. I'm like, bruh, white guy, don't get me wrong. And I'm like, bruh, most people listen to my podcast. It's people that inbox me, and they were like, man, I like your podcast, man. Could you make them a little bit longer? I want something to listen to while I'm driving to work. And I was like, damn, I didn't know you listen to that. I just posted on my Facebook, and I'm like, dang, thanks, man. So I said that to say this. When I started this, I used a free platform, and then I started doing it, and I said, man, I like doing this, man. And, and I believe it or not, I actually make a little money doing it. It's not a lot, but it's like, man, people actually, I'm so humbled by it. But anyway, I have to use, I have to pay for, this thing and pay for this for it to do it, for it to, like you said, do it for me, because there's no way.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply. Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
I could physically post this stream, post it on. First of all, I'll be up all night doing number one. Number two, when this guy gave me trying to tell me what I need to do, I'm like, bruh, you don't podcast, number one. Number two, I done all the legwork on this. And at the end of the day, if I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail on my own. And I'm going to tell you, I really shouldn't have that mentality. I'm not going to lie, I shouldn't have it, man. Because at the end of the day, if I can meet somebody who will help me do it better, I'm listening to them. So what you just said is so right. Like, as black people, I know I'm guilty of it, of being a one-man show. I am. And that's something I got to get out of, man, because you cannot, no man is an island, point blank, period. And I think, especially in the industry you in, man, you have to partner with people with that, because buying those gymnasiums or those standalone, what you call those buildings, like a little warehouse, because when my son goes, it's like a warehouse building. And I imagine the lease on that thing is probably what you said, $5,000 or $6,000 a month. And I'm like, damn. So, and think about it, what the coach charges, people say, oh, that's too. Because I noticed when he did it, he used to do it at a public track field, and he charged less. And then now he had that. Now he's taking it to another level, and he has the credibility, and he has the receipts, as the young people say. He got the receipts. He got the results. And believe it or not, the majority of his customers are not black.
Yeah.
and they looking like.
And so that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I mean cut you off.
No, they looking at the price. He had upped the price, but I'm like, yo, expenses have changed. Expenses have changed, y'all. This man, you know, what do you think he got to charge this kind of price? But at the end of the day, he pumping out results. And I don't know if you noticed, not out here yet, but sports is big out here.
Yeah.
It is big out here. You got your kid got to have a little personal coach out here. Because at the end of the day, man, you're competing with a lot of people. And the thing about it, man, is that when you find a brother who, like I said, even his, believe it or not, the price he's charging is cheaper than most other people charge. But I just find it kind of funny, like, because he told us, we said, yeah, coach, we're going to stick with you, man, straight up. Nah, bro, we got your back, man. And so, you know, go ahead.
And see, that's what I found in cheer. So if you go look online at the average cheer gym, like a big cheer gym, if you're doing all-star cheer, you're paying almost $200 a month, you know, to be in a gym. Because those facilities are not cheap, you know. Well, I knew, so I'm not going to say it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen to me at that point. To be able to get, you know, enough girls to have a team at $2 something a month, you know, because I know the average income there. I just know. Even though there are people that paying it to go to these gymnastics, but I knew me coming into it knew that $200 wasn't going to be it. My first year doing cheer, I only charged $40, and I had to go chase people down for my payment, and you know. But again, like I said the first time, it comes down to us. We allow it to happen. You know? Like when I finally, I used to go to a therapist, and she made a very good point. You know, she said, Melissa, every time you let one of your cheer parents like miss a month of payment or not pay you, you're taking food out your daughter's mouth. And you know, I had never looked at it like that. I had always looked at it, I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to get, you know, let them still be on the team so they can still afford it, There's only $40, so I don't know why I was doing it. But, you know, that was my thought process at the time. And when she put it to me like that, like, you know, every time I let them skip it, you know, I'm neglecting my child. I was like, you know, it's up to you. So then it was like, well, if the payment's due on the 1st, if you pay after the 5th, you know, you have a late fee, bottom line. If you don't pay next week, you don't practice, you know?
That's right.
And it's like when you set the tone, they're going to follow. But the problem is, when you're doing for something, you know, I don't know if it's just us, and you don't have a business coach, and you're doing it by yourself, you start thinking, well, if I do all that, people are going to do it. No one's going to join, And like, lady who tried to help me, you know, like you said, you know it all, she told me, she's like, before you start your cheer team, make sure everybody's on automatic pay. So you don't have to chase after them for your money. Okay. She said anybody that's hesitant about signing up for all their payments, they're not serious about being on your team.
That's right.
And here I go thinking, no, I don't want to scare people off. I want to give people options. And she's 100% right. It's like people will do what you allow. You have to set the standard in your business of what you'll accept. And you have to say, I'd rather close down than run this halfway. Because if I don't do what I need to do to protect myself, they're going to play me. Because you get passionate kids, you get emotional about it. And it's not about being heartless. It's about you have a business to run. And you're not going to have other kids in the future if you're not doing what you're supposed to do now.
That's right.
So that's the biggest thing I learned is like we set the tone for our businesses. And people only do to us what we allow them to do. Like in my kids' spa business, I didn't have a problem with people trying to call in and negotiate with me or question my prices because I was confident in that. And when I started cheer, it was like starting a whole new business over again. So I was letting people slide. I wasn't quite confident in it. But you got to set the tone because if you don't set the tone, they'll set it for you.
Let me ask you. Now, where is your business located?
So here, I was subleasing off of Cedar Ridge Road in Duncanville. It's in a dance studio. I was renting out her business. So I was affected because my cheer team got shut down.
Okay.
But I didn't have, because I was subleasing, if I don't rent, I don't have to pay. So it didn't affect me like I still had a bill to pay and I didn't have kids.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something I noticed with business also is, believe it or not, you got to cater to us. And don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you something about Dallas, and you probably noticed this too. It's a lot of black folks with money out here, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of black folks with money out here. I'm telling you. And I think a lot of times what we mess up at is location.
Yeah.
Because we underestimate, man, that black people don't, like, man, I'm telling you, black people have money. And I've been saying that for years. And the thing about it, and what kind of made me really start caring more about black businesses was when about 6 or 7 years ago I got into sales. And when I sold off commission too, base paying commission. And after I did that job, I had a different appreciation for businesses, especially my people business, because I understood that it's tough out here. But as a salesman, I also understood the price is a price. Straight up. Because when I got on that phone and I would tell somebody that'll be $500, that'll be $3,000. Do you know how much guts that takes to do that?
Right.
It's not easy like I thought it was until I started doing it. But so I understand your dilemma. I know your business can thrive out here, believe it or not. I think it's gonna, and this is my opinion. I don't know, like I said, but in my opinion, I think location is really the key for you, because you shouldn't undercut your price because you provide a quality service, man. I mean, you do. And that shit is big out here, man. That's why I'm like, what? You had to charge people how much money? I'm like, oh, hell.
No, this is when I was in Monroe, okay?
Okay.
And this was that first year I started. And when I first started here, let me rewind. Let me tell you a little bit about me so you can understand.
Okay. Go ahead.
So when I first started She's So Full, like literally, like I knew I wanted to start a business. Right? I had been planning for a year. And I just didn't. I just never did. I couldn't figure out. So I went to a mall in Shreveport, and I met a lady. She had a little kiosk, and it was called Zoe's World. It's funny because my daughter's name is Chloe. It was called Zoe's World, and she was doing like a little makeup and the colorful hair extensions. And I was like, oh, this is so neat. So I went up to her, and I was like, how did you start this? And she was like, I just prayed about it. And I was like, do you mind if I ask you, like what was your startup cost and da. So, she gave me the number, and I was like, how did you come up with it? She's like, I just prayed about it, God he just allowed it to happen. And so I walked away from that day thinking like, oh, okay, I don't know how I would ever get this started or how I would ever, get it done. Mm-hmm. And, I knew I wanted to start a kids spot. I just didn't know, how I was going to get it done. Fast forward to me end up moving back home in Dallas, Michigan. Me ended up moving back home to Monroe, and my dad had a stroke. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up getting hired at a place called Accent Marketing. And I was just at work, and I just, I was sick of it. I was just tired of being at work. And so I just remember my friend at the time, she ended up being my business partner. She was like, I'm going to start a clothing store. I was like, really? I was like, you know what? I was like, I've been talking about this kids spot. I was like, I'm going to do it. And literally that day, I left work. I went to look for a building. I paid my deposit. I got my inspections. Like, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have anything. I just had, a hope and a dream. And then the girl who was doing the clothing store, I was like, how about you do a kids clothing store? And I'll have the kids shop. And we'll just, go do it that way. And she's like, okay. Well, then what ended up happening as we were building and all this stuff, she ended up like, well, let's just do the kids spot together. I was fine with that. She was way younger than me, so she didn't understand, like, the day we opened up our doors, money is not going to flow in. So, her family encouraged her to walk away from the business. And I remember she quit, like, right after my birthday.
Oh no.
My birthday, we opened in July. She said like in September. Honestly, like our business started booming in December. So if she would have just stayed like a couple of months later, which that's kind of quick for a new business to, really pick up like that. If she would have just stayed a couple of months later, like she would have been in there. But, in the first beginning, we were paying all the rent ourselves, barely covering our light bills because you have to build your base. You have to put in the time. And so with this cheer, literally, I did a girls' night out in my at the Chico Falls, and I had vendors that used to come in and try to sell stuff or whatever. And one of the girls who came in, she's a Mary Kay representative, and we went out to eat after the girls' night out. And she said, "My daughter does cheer or whatever, and it's once a week, and they charge $40 a month." I was like, "I could do that." I was like, "I had this building all week. I could do that." I was like, "Let's do it together." Well, she ended up never, calling back to get it straight, so I just did it myself. And I started it under the assumption we were going to do sideline cheer, but it turned into all-star cheer. So I guess I said out at the stage, when I was charging the $40 a month, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I was going to do cheer because I had this building 7 days a week, and I was really on in there on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays doing birthday parties. So I started off not knowing all the work it was going to take, all the traveling you do, and not understanding how things. So I came up the next year. Okay. But, and that's something I would suggest people do. I mean, I just went out there and did it. I didn't have a goal. And I remember we got a CPA our first year open, and he said, the way you have your business model set up, the most you can make is $40,000 a year. And like I said, first year, I didn't understand. I didn't understand everything I understand today. I should have clothes and other things to upset. I didn't understand the business side of it. I was just out there operating. I think that's what happens with a lot of us too. We just out there paying bills, operating. We don't know our numbers. We don't know the business side of it. Because I was like, $40,000 a year, that's good. We can live that. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, but now I look back. I'm like, okay, that's what he meant. You can laugh because now, years later, you look back and you see, okay, I could have did this here. I could have upselled this. And birthday parties aren't cheap, My birthday parties, well, I started off relatively cheap. But I figured that out quick because that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
My prices
that's you're right. That is a lot of work. And I think, and that's something else as a people we got to start doing. We got to start valuing stuff like that, like birthdays. And, I know out here in Texas, I remember when I moved out here and, and especially when I got older, like in middle school, how the Mexicans would celebrate the quinceañera. And I'm like, what's the big deal? What's up with that? But now that you talking about your business, for the most part, like I said, I'm not trying to put down black folks. Do not get me wrong about that. I'm not. I love my people. But we got to start valuing that kind of stuff because, believe it or not, those are moments. I'm going to tell you a story right now. Today, I called I wanted me a new truck, and right now, I'm not going to lie. These dealerships giving away cars. They are desperate. And I'm not going to lie. I'm taking advantage of it. I did. Voila. So, and I don't need another truck, but I want a new truck. I'm 33 years old. I've never had a brand new truck before. So I was like, I call this cat, and I think he's white. His name Andrew. Anyway, I say, hey, man, I don't want to come in, do everything on the phone. I said, hey, man, I'm going to put something down. Yada, yada, yada. Got everything I want, proof, and all that. But I'm going to tell you the truth. You know why I bought that truck?
Why?
Because of his service. I'm like, dude, you so good, bro. I got to buy something from you. I told him, I said, Andrew, I don't really need this truck, man. I say, but you really made me feel, you bust your ass for me, dude. I gotta buy this truck now, And I think that, like with you, I hear like the love and passion in your voice because you tried to partner with people, and not just once, 2 and 3 times. I'm like, okay, y'all see that she knows what she's doing. Why would you not partner with her?
Well, I don't want to make it seem like that. Like at the end of the day, I've made some bad choices, you know. Like, the first girl I partnered with, I didn't even know her like that. We just worked together, and she was young. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and then this last girl, I didn't know her at all. So it's like, you know, I got to know her afterwards. So again, it was a dumb move. So I blame myself for, you know, these partnership failing because, you know, you get tunnel vision. I really wanted a place to practice because I wanted to be consistent. She had a place. It was cheap. Let's go half. You know, everything in the beginning of it was telling me, like, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. I just went with it. So, you know, I have to be accountable for the decisions I made. And, you know, I'm not like a real aggressive person. So sometimes I just sit back and let stuff happen, you know. So, you know, those are things that, you know, that you got to be aggressive in business, you know.
But that's just that's learning. That's growing pains. That's life experiences. That's why I started this podcast because, like yourself, I got a lot of life experiences, you know. But I'm saying the fact of the matter is that you was willing to be like, hey, let's partner up, you know. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't do partnerships, but I might need to start. It was a friend of mine. He wanted to do partnerships with me, and I stayed away from it because I'm like, man, you know, if this go bad, I don't want no bad blood. But at the end of the day, there are just some things you just can't do it by yourself. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's not, and I mean,
you're not gonna go to the next level by yourself. You probably can make an okay income, it's just being you. But if you really want the money, you're gonna have a team. I mean, that's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, these jobs we work for, these companies we work for, man, these motherfuckers started out. Everybody, to me, I always say everybody started out as a small business and grew. And
right.
the reason why they're successful because they have partners. I mean, I'm just looking like, man, why can't we do that? You know, why can we not do that, man? And like I said before,
you made a good point earlier, though. You know, like when you said, you know, we're learning. You know, we're first generational, and so like, of course, we at the stage right now. You know, because our parents, they went to school or whatever that was, or they went straight and got a job. Like when I first opened up my shop, my dad's words at the time were, "What you gonna do with that stuff when you close down?" Because it's not that he was being negative, but he didn't see the vision because that's not what he was raised. He was like, I sent you to school, you know, and all this stuff, and you talking about you open up a business, you should just keep teaching, you know, that get the summers off, you know, that's nice, you know. That's what he was thinking in his head. And I was thinking, like, I have another dream. I can't imagine staying somewhere for 8 hours and then getting an hour lunch break. That's 9 hours, you know, that you're at one location. Like, that's not my thing. So, you know, we're first generational. Everybody wants to be the boss because we've had these jobs where we've had to not be the boss and, you know, do all the work but not get the recognition. So, you know, having your own business is like, okay, I'm in charge. So now you got two in charge people trying to work together. And, you know, it's about balancing egos and, you know, doing what's best for the business, not necessarily what you want to do. But when you're used to working on your own, that's not an easy thing to say. Easy thing to do. The easy thing to say is cute in theory, but, you know, like how Ford is my baby. You know, I've been doing this forever. So it would be hard, you know, even though I'm willing to do it, it would be hard just to allow somebody in. And I worked on this logo. They go, oh, that's cute, but I think this one right here is better. And, you know, it takes a lot of just, like you said, swallowing your ego, stepping back and say, you know what, I don't know everything, even though I am 99% accurate. But I don't know everything, and I can learn from others. But you got to have that thin line when you know something, you know, is not going to work, that you'll be able to speak up and say, well, I know that's not going to work. You know, maybe we can meet in the middle, you know, but that just takes a careful balance. And I think because we in this whole, be the boss, I'm the boss, she the boss, all these bosses don't work well together.
You know what I learned? I'm gonna tell you what changed my mind on the corporate game. Because, like I said, when I came out the military, I did contract. I had my own business. So my mindset, I told myself back then, I said, I'm not working for nobody. But what changed my mentality was I read a book in 2018. I read a book by this guy named Matt Monero. He's out here in Dallas too. And the book is called You Need More Money Now. And something that changed my mindset on the corporate game was I had to respect it. Was he said, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you. He didn't say it like me. I'm just breaking it down. He said I'm not telling y'all that you can't be an entrepreneur. He said, but here's what I want y'all to understand. When you're an entrepreneur, you learning everything on your dime. But when you work for people, you can fuck up on their dime. And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad mentality to have. Because like even at work, I'm a project manager, but I'm watching how things are moving. Like I said, I may not start another bit. Well, you know what? Like I was saying in the podcast, I'm going to incorporate this podcast. And, you know, I'm doing it just because, I mean, I take it serious, you know. And that's why I went and got a logo. I got this, that, you know. I'm like, man, this is something for real to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to quit my day job right now, you know. But at the end of the day, it's something fun. I enjoy doing it, but I also want to be professional with it. I didn't want no fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't want to just be a motherfucker talking on the phone. I mean, on the computer, on the microphone. I want to take it serious, even though I'm having fun with it. But the corporate game is what taught me, hey, your branding is so important. Slogans so important. Marketing so important. So, but here's the thing: I had to learn that side of it at the corporate game because, like, you know what? I'm finna learn all I can on the corporate side, and who knows? Maybe another 10, 15 years from now, you know, I hope it don't take that long. But if it do, oh well, it is what it is. But I want to learn and absorb as much as I can. And basically emulate it because the formula works. It works. It's just a matter of implementing it and being consistent with, like you said, with the business you have, a young lady, she bailed out early, and had she just stuck it out, she would have saw, man, this shit hit good. But I think as a people, and I'm guilty of it, is that we don't understand delayed gratification. We don't understand that things take time. Nothing happens overnight, you know. And the thing about you being experienced as an entrepreneur, and like I said, my patience level was so thin at times. But you have the patience, you know, for these things, which is why like, you know, I still gonna do it. Yeah, I got the corporate gig, but this is my baby, and you can't just let it go because it you know it could be successful. And I think that we can all learn, you know, especially, like I said, I'm still learning, is that we got to be able to tough it out, man. But at the same token, while we on these jobs, we need to be soaking up the game, point blank, period. Because it's game in there. A lot of times we just not paying attention. Like you said,
yeah, you can learn a lot.
You can learn a lot
from your job. Now, I would always suggest, you know, if you're in a position where you're the sole provider, and you're the one who has to make the money, to make the money, by all means, you know, keep your job. But if you're in a position where you can go full time and just like push, give yourself a limit. I always give myself like, okay, like even when I came out here, you know, I had to get a job because I had to get an apartment. I had to get, you know, adult things. And, but I gave myself, what ended up happening is they ended up laying me off when I first got here, and I told myself I have 6 months to make this work, and if I don't make it work in 6 months, you know, I'm gonna get another job. And so what ended up happening is me and my business partner, we didn't end up working out, so we ended up going separate ways. So I ended up getting another job. But I just feel like this pandemic, and you know, who knows what God has, you know, in store for me, you know, in the future. But this pandemic has just woke me up again because, you know, just like when I came out here and, you know, I was working as a teacher, a pre-K teacher, and they laid me off. Like, I just came to work one day and it was like, you know, we have to lay you off or whatever. You know, that would have, well, I'm not going to say it would have never happened in Monroe, but it would have never affected me in Monroe because I always had so much going on. It would have been like, oh, okay, whatever. But I had a lot to depend on the job, you know, and I didn't have a backup plan. So really, it pushed me to go into business with this girl, you know, because I just wanted to get something started.
Yeah.
But, you know, I say, you know, to me, if you can't do it, of course, don't do it. But, you know, jobs take a lot of energy. And
a lot.
They took me away from a lot of my goals. And I couldn't focus like I needed to being at a job. And then you come home and you're tired and you have to deal with your child. And it's just a lot. Now, I don't recommend anybody quit their job that can't. You know, if you got it, but if you get the chance, like if you're married and your husband's okay with it or whatever it be, and y'all both believe in it, you know, I say go for it. You know, go for it full time, but you got to be on schedule. You can't, you know, you have to treat your business like a job. You know, and you have to work it like a job. You have to be out networking, talking to people. You can't do that while you're at work. You know, I mean, you can figure out a way to do it around time. But
no,
it's harder to do it while you're at work.
I'm gonna tell you something. The thing about jobs, especially if you gotta deal with traffic alone drains you.
Traffic alone makes you quit everything.
It makes you quit everything. So I'm with you on that. But Melissa, we got to do a part 2 to this.
Okay.
We got to do a part 2. Did you enjoy doing this?
I did. I enjoyed talking with you.
I know you was like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, man, just talk shit. This ain't no, you know, like I said, when I was learning how to do this, people like write down what you want. I'm like, I can't do, that's not me. And believe it or not, I'm an organized person, but everything can't be static. Some things got to be fluid. You got to just let it flow, you know. And this one of them things where I'm like, look, I got to be serious in my job. I don't want to be serious on this. I want to just have fun, talk to people, have good conversation. And if somebody, you know, so hopefully I'll touch somebody. You know, I don't want to, you know, if you see what I'm saying? So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was like, I hope she had fun. I'm like, man, just talk. I don't get, man, this is podcasting. So, but I want to end this, and I want to thank you so much for coming on. And I'm gonna send you the episode when I'm done all the editing. It ain't gonna take long. It's take like 2 or 3 minutes. But I enjoy having you on here, and I really want you to come back and, man, just give us some show. You can hit me up, give me some show topics, man, because this is some, you know, I don't know. Like I said, this is what the state of black business. When you gave me, I was like, I never really thought about that. So yeah, it's a trip, and I think this pandemic is gonna wake a lot of us up. And me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I'm hoping that we get a couple more stimulus checks, especially if they approve certain things, because this is gonna be a financial come up for a lot of people, and especially entrepreneur-minded people. Like, yeah, while y'all out here fucking around, I'm gonna be putting this money back and putting it into my business, putting it into this. So I think that this is waking us up. You know, like I said before, this woke me up. It just like, you know what, man, do other things. Like I said, yeah, you can make money out of podcasting, but that's not why I got into it. But when I made a couple dollars, I was like, oh shit, what the hell? So that's why I was like, man, I'm gonna incorporate this, man. So, but I really enjoy having you on, and we got to do this again. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I enjoy being on.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2020 Nielsen Report limitations apply.
Bucks County, Pennsylvania is an ideal destination for a holiday getaway. Travel responsibly during the most festive time of the year and stay in the area's gorgeous lodging properties. Celebrate the holidays with a scenic drive through the covered bridges, a visit to castles, holiday light shows, and outdoor festive fun. Eat, drink, shop local, and be merry while visiting main streets scattered throughout the countryside. Go to visitbuckscounty.com to start planning.